Hey, what's going on? I am Dan from Spare Tire Running. And on today's episode of Running My Journey, we're going to get deep. We're going to get into it and we're going to talk from the heart and from the soul. So today's topic is not just a big runner type of problem. This is anybody can have this problem, our mental health. And I know that is a buzzword, and everybody under the sun talks about mental health, and partly because it's a true thing, it's a real thing, it's something that we need to be concerned about. It's something that not enough people do talk about, at least in a honest and open way. I do know anytime I use the hashtag mental health awareness, um, a lot of bots come out on Instagram, and you get the whole, hey, you should share this on so and so's website or whatnot, and then so forth. So why is it a hot topic now? Because in our world today, it's starting to become a normal thing to talk about. I've had this conversation with my son and my wife plenty of times about mental health awareness and being open. And it's sometimes, especially somebody my age, is completely hard to be open and honest about it. Then you add to the fact that I'm a male. That's even worse. I think females have an easier time to talk about their emotions and their feelings. And us men feel that we have to be strong and we can't show any weaknesses, and that we think being open and honest about our feelings and our mental health is a weakness. And then you get somebody that's my size, somebody that's bigger, and then you just want to not be open or hide. You want not to uh, think anything less, because you already feel that the world is judging you, especially in the running world, that the runners are judging you. And I find that most runners, true runners, don't care what size you are, but it still affects us. It still impacts us, and we still believe that everybody is judging us. I can honestly say I have good days and I have bad days. Um, and that is part of my problem with my size, my weight, and the way it fluctuates is because I'm a stress eater. I When I'm stressing about work or life or running, whatever it is, I tend to find myself making bad decisions and eating late at night. I just posted a picture on my Instagram of a snickerdoodle cookie that my wife made, and I'll tell you this: you have never had a snickerdoodle until you had my wife's snickerdoodle. And I'm not even just trying to be like bragging because it's my wife. It is world famous, and anybody that has tried it have said this is the best snickerdoodles they ever had. They want the recipes and so forth. It is delicious. My problem is I could sit there and probably eat 10, 12 of them like nothing because they're so good. So it definitely, when she makes them for birthdays, Christmas, any holidays, or any special get togethers, it is a temptation that I have a hard time fighting. Stress also plays into part of that. I live a stressful life. As a principal during the day, I have a lot of responsibilities. I work a lot of hours. Um, then you add that this year I'm teaching 3 classes. I'm doing some other stuff around our church and school. I'm coaching basketball. And then trying to figure out how to get into shape and run this Couch to 5K program. If you listen to last episode, we go over a whole Couch to 5K program for you that I have on our website, www.sparetirerunning.com. But it's just so hard to admit it. And it might be also for me, my humbleness, my shyness, my reserve, my introvert um, personality. There are no. I sometimes think I should not be, a principal. I should not be here in front of a camera or a microphone because this scares the hell out of me. Putting myself out there, being vulnerable, scares the living hell out of me. And I'm doing this because I want my kids to know. I want people like me to know that, hey, it's okay. Put yourself out there. Um, Sometimes you may get burned and it may hurt. It may not feel good, but you're going to be a better person for it. And that's the struggle, the mental fight I have. It's almost like when you're running a marathon and your body and your mind are fighting each other. Your body wants to just stop and give up. Your brain wants to keep moving. And you're good as long as your brain keeps fighting. The second your brain clicks off, you're done. You're not finishing that race. And I've had that happen to me in my few ultra marathon 50K tries. I mentally, I made every excuse in the world to quit because my body wanted to quit. And I let my body beat my brain. And I know deep down I could have probably done it. I could have probably made it work it. But those are the struggles I have. And I'm being honest with you guys. I'm being true with you guys. That's what we're here for, is to, the mentality that every step counts is something that we need to pass on to anybody and everybody, especially for those who have the mental struggle like I do. And just saying that out loud and knowing that maybe nobody will hear this, because if nobody listens, or 1,000 people hear it, or 100,000, or whatever, or one person hears it, how are they going to judge me? And I was just talking to my wife about this. I look at, some of these other big YouTube running channels, and I know I'm not supposed to covet, but I get jealous a little bit at times, and my brain starts to overact and overthink, and it's like, how come they're making it, or how come they have so much support? How come the community is diving all into what they're offering, and I'm sitting here trying to offer something for everyone, but especially a community that needs to hear the real facts and know that somebody that is overweight, somebody that has depression at times, somebody that has anxiety at times, somebody that struggles mentally because of his weight, because of his age, because of everything, that we can overcome it together. And I'm looking at, maybe my message isn't good enough, then that goes down another rabbit hole. Maybe I'm not good enough. I've had that. That has plagued my professional life forever. I have always struggled with, well, what if I'm not a good enough teacher? What if I'm not a good enough principal? And I even still have that. I won a Principal of the Year award for 2022. Out of all the private schools in our state, Michigan, out of all the principals, a couple hundred principals, I was chosen to be the Principal of the Year. And then I'm thinking here, well, I'm not good enough for this. I made a parent upset, or what is the parents going to think of me if I make this decision or do this choice? I'm raising tuition because we're a private school. We need that. How is that going to be impact? If a family leaves, even if they moved away, it's like, I look at it as, did I do something wrong? And that's how I look at it for my running game too. Like, I look at these people and I'm like, all right, so this guy says he ran a marathon with no training and he ran like a 3:30, 3 hours and 30 minutes. And I'm like, okay, I trained really hard for the Grand Rapids Marathon. Granted, I could have probably done even more, and if I was in better shape, done more. But I still struggle to, I ran what, a 5 hour something. The very first marathon was 6.5 hours. So in 1 year, I took over an hour off, and I'm thinking that I've worked really hard to do that. And then here's a guy with no training running, twice as fast as I am. Or here's a guy in a year lost 200 pounds. And then I started judging them like, well, did they get a gastric bypass? Is that the reason why? Because that's, is that cheating? I don't know. I know people have got them. They have good reason to get them. But then I'm looking at myself. I'm like, I'm struggling. I'm starving myself sometimes. I'm working hard. I'm watching what I'm eating. I'm counting my macros, counting my calories, and I still not seeing the results that these other people have. And I know I shouldn't judge myself compared to other people, but that's somebody with low self-esteem, somebody that struggles with our mental health. That's what we do. We go out there and we see these, runners, and we think, well, I trained hard. They didn't train, or I'm not as big as they are, but they're crushing it, and I'm struggling to run a 14-minute mile or 15-minute mile or whatever it is. But I'm here to tell you, and I'm fighting this too, I'm here to tell you, no matter what your struggles are, everybody has struggles. And I have to tell myself that over and over and over again because I forget. I forget that other people have struggles too. Other people may look at me and think I have it all together because they don't. We are all in this race together. We are all running with outside forces battling their way into our lives, torpedoing us to think less of ourselves. I truly want my kids to know, no matter what they decide in their lives, to give it all they got. And that no matter what time or where they're at in their life, they can make changes for the better. If they find themselves in a spot where they hate themselves or don't like themselves, they're upset with themselves, they can make the changes. And I decided to pick this as our topic because I truly, truly need to voice this message out loud so I can hear it and I can believe it. Because right now, it's hard for me to believe this. It's hard for me to think it's going to be okay, to think that everything will work out. And even if things don't go to my plan, I do believe that God has a plan for us. And I do believe if you don't believe in God, maybe the world, the universe has a plan for you. But God has a plan for us. And His will be done. And what He wants out of my life will be done. I just got to figure that out. And I got to trust. I got to trust Him. I go around and, I want other people to put their trust in me. I want other people to put their faith in me, to believe in me, to, give to this cause that I am running, this mission of Every Step Counts to financially help me purchase material, gear, nutrition, sign up for races, and to give back to the community. And it's hard to feel loved. It's hard for me to say, yeah, my friends and family do believe in me when they may not subscribe to my YouTube account or may not be a Patreon member or may not encourage me to keep pushing, to keep working. Hey, you want to run a marathon? I'm with you. What can I do to help? It only takes a few people to make your world change. And I'm hoping that I could reach out to somebody that needs to hear this, that they are loved, that their hard work is being noticed. And maybe it's not being noticed directly from me yet, because you're not on Instagram or you're not on YouTube, but I want you there. I want you there. I want to build this community, even if you're a big runner. I want to let the world to see that big guys can bike, big guys can run. I mentioned Goku Runner before, and I'm going to mention him again. He's not a fat guy. He's man. Have you been watching his Instagram? He's putting on the muscle, man. He's lifting some hardcore weights there. But I know that he would agree with, hey, get out there, get moving. And you got to find those people. You need to find those people that will reach out to you. And even if you've never met them in person, and have a relationship and be able to communicate with. And if you don't have anybody, I want to be that person. I want you guys to reach out to me, especially on Instagram. That's where I mostly live on the social media here, and then here on this podcast that I've started. Episode 4 only, but we're going strong. I have been excited to sit down and record these. I've been excited to get this story out, this message out, this documenting out, and be able to update you guys with where I'm at in my training. This Couch to 5K, I'm starting to feel good. I'm starting to get moving on the bike. I got that dumb bike, that junk bike with the dumb trainer, but man, I can feel the burns, and I know I'm working hard. I just don't know how hard I'm working or how not hard I'm working, but I am enjoying it again, and that's where I've been lost for a while. I did not know what I was missing, and I let it go away from my brain until I came back. And Rocky has a great thing. It's not how hard you get punched or how hard you punch, is how hard you can get punched and keep moving forward, or whatever that is. When you get knocked down, get back up. It is 100% true. You know that you're going to get punched. And even the elites have bad races. The elites have to DNF. The elites have to take time off because of injuries or whatnot. Don't let one day of recovery, of not doing anything, ruin what you have built. I feel that 10 years Spare Tire Running has been around this March, and I feel like I'm back at the beginning. And I know I'm not 100% there, like the same person that I was there. I'm completely a different person. That person didn't run 2 marathons. That person didn't run multiple half marathons, didn't even try to run a 50K. That person didn't do much besides what he did in high school. So in the last 10 years, I have done a lot. I am a completely different person, but at the same time, my brain, my mental side, that wants to attack me says, no, you're just the same little loser you were back then. I'm even the same weight. And so how can, in 10 years, I'm at the exact same weight I was 10 years ago? Not good. I'm at the exact same speed, potentially, that I was 10 years ago. Not good. But I'm completely different. And it's that battle inside my brain that I'm trying to fight. And I know some of you are fighting those same battles. It's so much easier if we fight this together, if we do it together. So I'm asking you, I'm pleading with you, I'm begging you, let's do this together. Find me on Instagram. I'm at spare_tire_running. Okay, if you go to sparetirerunning.com, all my links are there. All right. Join my Patreon page. Just $1 a month. You don't have to do one of the higher ones. Just do $1 a month. I want to dive into helping more on that as well as here on this podcast. Subscribe to this podcast. And yeah, that helps me out. It gives me validation that, what I'm creating is meaningful for other people besides myself. But even if you don't, this is so much helpful for me in helping me be somebody better and be somebody that don't want to be anymore. I want to be better. So why don't you take that first step, because every step counts, and let's do this together. Let's crush it. So I want to thank you guys for listening or watching on YouTube. You guys don't know how excited and how appreciative I am for every subscriber, for every view, for every listen. It goes a long way to know that maybe I am making a difference. So thank you. Thank you so much. And as we go into this 2023, as we're crushing 2023, if you need a pep talk, if you need somebody to talk, if you just need somebody to listen because you're having a rough time, please do not hesitate to reach out or call somebody that you trust. Call that national hotline of, whatever. If it's a suicidal thing, they have a suicide hotline. Or if it's somebody that, therapist, just somebody. It helps to voice your feelings out loud. Or if you don't trust anybody yet or don't feel comfortable, just video it yourself. You can keep it so that nobody else sees it. But I'm telling you, just sitting here, speaking the words out loud so that I can hear it in my ears helps. So I will keep you all in my prayers. And as we move forward, let's have fun this year. Let's have some fun. All right. Thank you, guys. Have a great night or day, wherever you're listening to this. All right. Later.